Hi, I'm Joseph, co-founder of Lamont Bros, and in today's video, I want to walk you through a demo and discovery contract and how we use that as a tool to help homeowners when we're looking at repair projects. A demo and discovery contract is a contract we'll sign with a client when we're coming in to do a repair that requires some demolition ahead of time before we can create a fixed price construction contract. At Lamont Brothers, it's really important to us and to our clients to know what things are going to cost before we start working. Lots of clients have told me stories over the years of starting to work with a contractor and every time they see the guy, the price doubles. Or increases massively. So what ends up starting as a project that costs this ends up costing 5 or 10 times by the time they're finally done with all of the work. When you're looking at a repair and when you're looking specifically at dry rot, that is a project that lends itself to that well, even if you're working with a very reputable, honest contractor. So what we do at Lamont Brothers is we do what we call a demo and discovery contract first, before we come up with the final price. That will look like we'll put together a preliminary budget. We've done a lot of different dry rot repairs. We know roughly what these kinds of things can cost. And sometimes that range is pretty massive. For instance, with this project, the range in the beginning could have been anywhere from $5,000 to it ended up being a fairly extensive project, which could have cost up to $150,000. So just having that conversation up front so that the client is aware of the range that something could cost before we demo anything is important. But then before we actually start any real repair work, it's important to know, is this project $5,000 or is it way more than that? And so what we'll do is we'll put together a retainer contract where the client normally pays us several $1,000s and we come in and demo the project so we can see what we're dealing with. We come up with a fixed price construction contract to repair the home, and then we implement that plan and end up repairing the home. And that retainer amount is credited toward the final cost of the repair work. And that way, before we really start the major repair work, the client has an understanding and confidence that they know what it's going to cost to repair their home. A question sometimes comes up as, once we have that fixed price construction contract, is there any scenario where the cost would increase after that? And the answer is there is. Occasionally, we're not able to demo as much as we need to without starting some of the repairs. So at that point, we'll have a conversation with the client and let them know that we can't get to everything we need to see. And we'll put together a construction contract for repairing what we can see and what we do know about. And if the scope of work changes later, that cost will change a little bit as well. And we process that through a change order so that we still, throughout the entire project, have clear communication about this is the scope of work we're doing and the cost for that scope of work. We do these demo and discovery contracts back-ended by fixed price construction contracts to ensure really, really good communication about scope and costs. The alternate way to do it is to do something called like a cost plus contract or a labor and materials contract, where you basically write a blank check to the contractor. The contractor shows up and just gets the project done. The attractive thing to that is it's a little bit faster to just show up and get started because we don't take a break after the demo to put together that fixed price construction contract, know what we're dealing with, and get started with the repair. But I find it's not as good, clear communication between the contractor and the client. The client doesn't really know what it's going to cost in the end. And there's some amount of just ambiguity about exactly what the client's getting charged and how he's getting charged. Because then if you're in your house and your contractor takes a phone call that might be related to a different job, you're sitting there thinking, well, am I getting billed for that 20 minutes that he stood there on the phone and talked about a different project? There's also no incentive for the contractor to work faster and harder on your project. And so often, especially if things are slow, I have heard of contractors just stretching the project on and working slow because he doesn't have anything else to do and he wants to make sure and get paid. And if you're doing some type of time and materials contract, he's getting a certain hourly rate for just being at your project, whether or not he's productive. So we do a fixed price construction contract even for these types of projects to ensure our clients know the scope of work they're having us do and know what it costs. Thanks for watching. For more info specifically on dry rot repair in structural members, check out this next video where I walk you through the project behind me and the strategy that we employed to fix a major structural issue.